Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. For this video, I'm going to be reacting to another Ray William Johnson video. This is Katy Perry Killed This Nun. I saw the title and the thumbnail, and I thought this was interesting because, I don't know, I feel like Katy Perry is a nice person, so I don't know what the story is about. Maybe it's just, not like clickbait, but it's just a weird title, a weird way to phrase what actually happened. I don't know. Maybe not like physically, maybe it was like from being shocked about something. I don't know. But I don't think she killed anyone. But also yeah, I feel like the title could be misleading. So I don't know if it's a safe title to even use for a video, but I'm gonna change it for mine. But anyway, let's get into the video, and please subscribe. Let me know what else I should react to in the comments below. I've been reacting to other videos, so I already know I need to turn it up. So let me turn it up a little bit.
Look, I'm not saying Katy Perry unalived a nun, but you gotta hear this story.
Oh.
So this is Katy Perry, the pop star. You know.
Okay, it's too loud. Turn down a little bit. Okay.
Katy Perry. And one day in 2014, Katy decides to take some of that pop star money and buy herself a big-ass mansion in Los Angeles. So she looks around and she finds one for sale. This monstrosity. Now, Katy apparently really wants this house. Like, she'll do anything for it. Maybe even unalive someone. I'm not saying she unalived someone, but, you know, just listen to this story. So here's the thing about this house. It is huge. 30,000 square feet. It's even got a pool shaped like a frickin' fish. In fact, this house is so big that it's actually not a house at all. Traditionally, it's been a convent where a bunch of elderly nuns live. And we'll get back to these nuns. But first, we gotta talk about...
Okay, so how did these nuns get all this money to buy a place like this? Interesting.
Catholic priests, specifically ones who diddle boys.
Interesting.
You know I mean,
how do they get all this money?
As a whole was rampant for decades, particularly in the archdiocese in Los Angeles. And an archdiocese is sort of like a collection of churches. So this collection of churches in Los Angeles had some pretty serious schmactual abuse accusations thrown at them in the early 90s and 2000s. And
then they tried to make the gays look bad when they're doing stuff behind the scenes. It's always the ones that get the angriest or talk the most about the other groups when they're the ones that are actually doing it or secretly hiding it on the inside. But behind closed doors, they're the ones that are doing the same things that they're publicly telling people not to do. Interesting.
One day, boom, they get sued. And so, in 2007, the Archdiocese agrees to settle with the victims of the abuse and pay them a settlement of $660 million. And so now, these churches need to pay off this huge molestation settlement, so they decide to make some money by selling a property they own. That property? The convent. However, there's a problem.
How much?
Those elderly nuns I mentioned, they live there. And now these nuns, we'll just call them the nuns. There's only 5 of them, but they've been living there for decades. But the Archdiocese is like, whatever, bitches, we own this place. And in 2011, boom, they kick them all out. And this kicks off a whole dispute. Because, see, the nuns feel like they own the property. Because back in 1971, they originally pooled...
I was interrupted by an ad. But, yeah, I was going to say, like, yeah, I wonder how much they paid for it, because if it was that year, like, I'm pretty sure it was a lot cheaper. But where they get all this money from? I thought the money from the church was supposed to go to other stuff.
Using every dollar they had saved. However, for some reason, the Archdiocese feels like the property belongs to them. And because they feel like it belongs to them, they're like, "F you, we're selling it." And that is when in 2014,
whose name is on the building?
Along comes Katy Perry, looking to take some of her pop star money and buy herself a big-ass mansion. And she sees this convent and she loves it. She'll do anything to get it. She wants to turn it into a house. So she offers $14.5
Dang.
million. And the archdiocese, they accept, like immediately. They don't ask the nuns permission or
Wait,
anything.
but how much were they trying to sell it for in the first place? Like, I feel like they would have sold it for cheaper, but she offered that first, and then he was like, "Oh, okay."
They just agree.
They're probably
and the
gonna
deal starts moving
sell it for a
forward.
lot cheaper.
And so, of course, the nuns are pissed. I mean, they've lived there for decades, and the church is just going to come along and sell it out from under them? And to make it even worse, the nuns look Katy Perry up. I mean, they don't know who she is. They're nuns. And let's just say they are not super impressed with her work. Because, you know, she has songs like I Kissed a Girl and
How did I know he's
You're
going to bring
So
that up?
Gay. But specifically, in one interview back in the day, Katy Perry made a joke about selling her soul to the devil.
Okay, also, she grew up, she started out as a Christian singer. I feel like she's a religious person also, so that's another topic for another video. But yeah, like all these people practicing the same thing, but they all have different beliefs and stuff, so interesting. But some people are more open than others, I guess, but they all believe in the same thing, so I don't know why it matters. But anyway, yeah, but does it really matter? Like, they're gonna sell the house, or they're getting kicked out of the house, someone wants to buy the house, so does it really matter who is gonna move into the house? Like, I don't understand how that matters, because what if it was a random person that wasn't famous, they're just rich and they want to move into the house? Like, you wouldn't be able to look up anything on them, so why, just because she's famous, doesn't matter that she's moving into the house? I don't understand.
But it didn't work out, and so I sold my soul to the devil.
And so the nuns, they can't let this slide.
And that
they
was a
can't
joke.
allow their old home
She's making
to be
jokes. She likes to joke
occupied by
around.
someone who sold their soul to the devil. Meanwhile, the archdiocese, to their credit, they don't want the nuns to be upset. They want all of this to go down smoothly. And so they arrange a meeting at the property between the nuns and Katy Perry.
But why? Like, I don't understand. You're kicking them out because you're selling the property. So why does she have to meet them? Like, why do they need their blessing to move into the house? Doesn't make sense.
And so one day in 2015,
It's not theirs anymore
Katy
if she
Perry
buys it.
shows up to the place, and she's trying to charm
And
these nuns.
she already bought it,
insisting
no?
that she didn't really literally sell her soul to the devil, that she's actually a rather religious person herself. And in
What'd I
Katy
say?
Perry's defense, she did grow up in an extremely Christian household. Like,
Yes.
both of her parents were Pentecostal pastors. They were only allowed to listen to gospel music. Her parents were so extreme Christian, she wasn't allowed to refer to deviled eggs as deviled eggs. She had to call them
angeled eggs.
angeled eggs. And I'm not making that
I
up.
heard that story.
And so Katy explains this to these nuns. Then she shows them the Jesus tattoo that she has on her wrist. And I'm not sure how impressed nuns generally are with tattoos, but whatever, she showed them. Then, in order to further convince them of how super Christian she is, she offers to sing Oh Happy Day, a well-known church song, and she's going to sing it a cappella. But she has to pull out her phone to look up the lyrics, which has the nuns giving her the side eye. Anyway, it's a super awkward meeting,
Okay,
and
dang,
the
that's
nuns
weird AI
aren't
picture.
impressed, and their minds aren't changed one bit. However, the
But why does she have to go through the nuns? I thought didn't that guy already sell? Didn't he kick them out? I don't know. I think he mentioned something that he wanted both sides to be happy, so I don't know why it matters. If you're trying to sell a place, it doesn't matter who the next person that is trying to move in, because they're going to pay for it.
Catholic Church is very powerful.
And they're gonna own
They are
it.
determined to
They're not-
sell
she's not
this
renting the
property
house.
to Katy. And unfortunately, there isn't much the nuns can do.
Until
At some point, the nuns decide two can play at this game. I mean, they feel like they own the property fair and square. And so they come
Whose
up
name
with
is
a
on the
plan
property?
to sell it themselves. And that is when this woman steps in. Her name's Hollister.
Oh.
And Hollister's 54. She's a
looking at this AI picture, it looks like that lady. She's also super religious. She was on Full House. I forgot her name. But yeah, she's also super religious. I thought that was her until they said the name.
A rich businesswoman, she owns a lot of restaurants, and she comes along and offers to buy the place from the nuns and keep it open and running by turning it into a boutique hotel. And I guess the nuns are cool with that because they agree to sell it behind the archdiocese's back. So now you have two competing sales of the same property happening at the same time. But whatever, the nuns, they hand over the deed to Hollister and she moves in right away. And Katy Perry, Katy Perry is not going to let this slide. She feels like her purchase of the place was already in motion and legal. So she's like, oh, hell no. And she files a lawsuit. But not against the nuns, because that would be terrible PR. Like, Katy Perry sues a bunch of elderly nuns. No, rather, she sues Hollister, claiming that her purchase of the place is not legit. And this turns into an all-out legal war. I mean, two wealthy women battling it out in court over this.
Okay, this must be a first world problem, because if you have that much money, you can find another place. I feel like it's not that deep to be suing someone else, because I don't know, just my personal opinion. But if you have that much money, you can find another place. You can probably build your own place somewhere. I don't know.
Former nun convent, and this legal battle goes on for years.
And also, if you have to go through all this to buy a place, it's probably not worth it. Like, I don't know. I ain't got time for that.
Stressful for all of them, especially the 80-year-old nuns involved. But in 2017, they finally go to trial. And at the end of it all, a judge rules that the nuns, for some legal reason, do need permission from the Vatican in order to sell the convent.
Whose name is on that
means
place?
Hollister's purchase of the property is invalid, which means Katy can move forward with buying the house from the archdiocese. She won. And to make it worse for Hollister, right after that, a jury finds that she's also guilty of malice and fraud in her attempt to interfere with the sale of this property. So now she's ordered to pay Katy Perry and the church $10 million in damages. And that is a lot of money. In fact, it's so much money that it literally bankrupts Hollister.
Wait, but what if... Did she know about this? Like, what if she bought the house, she didn't know anything? Like, could she use that as a defense? Or maybe she did know. I don't know.
Like, she has to go to bankruptcy court.
Dang.
And so then, one day in 2018, she goes to bankruptcy court. And two of the nuns go with her because they're all like friends now. I mean, they've been in this lawsuit together for a long time, and they're there to support their friend. And then on the steps of the courthouse, one of the nuns speaks to the news media, and she pleads for Katy Perry to stop. Like, stop with all the legal actions against her friend.
Please stop. It's not.
Wait, what?
Me.
Okay, that's kind of weird, because she's only doing this, the nuns are only doing this because they don't want Katy Perry to buy the house. But, like, why didn't they just back up? Because she wants the house, let her buy the house. Like, none of this would happen if they just let her buy the house. So why are they playing the victim now? I don't understand.
Anyone any good except hurting a lot of people.
And sadly, those words would be this nun's last words. Because hours later, in the courtroom, she collapses and dies from a heart attack. She was 89.
Okay, so I already knew this title was over-exaggerating. But yeah, I feel like he's talking about Katy Perry suing this lady over a house. You don't think she's not gonna sue him over this title?
9 years old. And one of the other nuns claims the heart attack was caused by stress directly related to this Katy Perry lawsuit. I'm not saying Katy Perry unalived a nun. I'm just saying this other nun thinks so. Anyway, at the end of it all...
None of this would have happened if they just sold the house to Katy Perry in the first place. Like, you are only in this situation because you didn't want her to buy the house, and then you did all this other illegal stuff, so... You can't blame Katy Perry.
Well, Katy still needs approval from the Vatican to purchase the property, and they're unable to work out a deal.
Oh.
So her option to buy the place expires, and everyone just kind of moves on. So, in the end, after all that, no one
got the house. And you know what? when she found out that she couldn't get the house, she probably was like, oh, it's fine, I have money, I can go somewhere else. Like, that's what I would have done. Like, I ain't got time for this. I ain't got time to go to court over a house when I have enough money to buy another house that I would also like. I don't understand. But yeah, this title is misleading. And like, I feel like the nuns put all that stress and stuff on themselves because you just didn't want her to have the house when. Anyway, y'all know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, that is the end of this video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Let me know what else I should react to in the comments below. And if you want to see my experiences in Korea, you can check out my first channel, SEKSHI V. And if you want to see my other socials, it's right here under my face. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.